Hi, it's Jules Apollo. Welcome to Power Up Starlight. It's time to shine, where I share playful ways to meditate and create based on channeled messages from my spirit guides and star beings. Let's have some fun. Hey, this is Jules. So today the Hathors are going to be coming forward. They are another type of star being who works with me. When they work with me, we are working in collaboration with some Syrian masters of geometric forms, and so it focuses on some of the healing work that I do. But for today, I think the Hathors are going to give us a more general orientation to some of the energy frameworks that are underway on our planet right now, and ways that we can function in them and get support. So I will let them speak. We come forward now as the Hathors, riding on the energy framework that is being created as part of this podcast transmission network. We have worked with Jules for many lifetimes and for many years on this physical plane in this embodiment as well. The purpose of our transmission on this day is to share with you the energy frameworks that are opening up as part of the ongoing expansion of available energy technologies on this planet, in support of those of you who are open to embodying yourselves as multidimensional beings on this physical plane. Even though there appears to be increasing chaos on the planet, we come forward to share that there are ways to move above and beyond that. Yes, building upon the intention and the power of your will that has been shared in previous transmissions. But our focus is to look at ways that you can merge your mind and your heart and call upon energies of support to create, in essence, a triangulation of the energy of the light of your soul anchored onto the physical plane. Here is what we mean by that. If you set the intention that your heart is open and that you are surrounded by only the highest love and light in support of your divine purpose, and you call upon the power of your mind and access the energy of your pineal gland, for this accesses your higher wisdom, and then you call upon the power and the will of your I am presence, your expanded self, your soul, your higher self, whichever of those phrases instills a greater sense of ease and security within you. If you set up this triangle of light, and then you say, it is my intention to anchor this light on the physical plane in support of my divine mission, you are setting up an energy framework for greater transmission of light, as well as an ability to interpret and apply that energy as it comes forward. If you do this simple practice and you stand in this light and you set the intention that you be filled with the light of your soul, you will begin to get urges or images or dreams or synchronicities in your life that indicate ways that you can move into further embodiment at the same time that you will begin to unfold your gifts on the physical plane. How might this manifest? Say you are some type of creative artist, a photographer, or a writer. If you set this intention, you will begin to have visions of creative products that you could develop. You will begin to have urges to somehow shift your process. perhaps to create your art in a different format, or go about documenting your creativity in a different manner. For an artist, this might be that you use dictation, for instance, and as a way to write that you haven't before, or you move back to writing in a notebook with the handwritten notes rather than doing everything on the computer. For a photographer, it might be that you are inspired to go to new places. For a potter, you might be looking at different glazes or completely different structures. If you are any type of artist, think about that word structure and how it applies to what it is that you create or wish to create, or have always wanted to create but thought it wasn't possible. For those of you who are looking out at the political landscape in particular now, in your country of origin or where you live or across the globe, and you are seeing very disturbing trends, you can use the energy of this triangulation to anchor into your life, into your experience, a framework of clear policies, a framework of mutual respect, a framework of clear communication of principles and outcomes. You can create, in essence, gatekeeper energies that limit what is allowed in your reality and which frame the context in which you operate your day. And as you think about this is what I want in my life, this is not acceptable to me, I would like more of this in my everyday experience, my communications online would be restricted to only allow in this type of information. As you think about this, you are using the power of your mind with the will of your intention and the power of your greater dimensional self to create your reality. Now, some would argue that, this doesn't really do anything, it's all in your head. You are sending out very strong vibrations of light, frequency networks, intentional emissions of power and light. When you do this is your normal mental process, yes, but when you marry it and merge it with the energy framework that we are discussing here, it's turbocharged. The waves of light that go out from you have an intention and therefore a power. So yes, we are inviting you to stand in your power as a multidimensional being, to not buy into the energy constructs, political frameworks, the ever-changing communications on the planet, and define for yourself what you will allow into your reality. Some would say this is defining boundaries. That we go a bit beyond that because we are asking you to intentionally define what you will allow, what you will create, what is your intention, what is your will. And as you do this, you will find that some things fall away. Some means of communication no longer appeal to you. Some people in your life may shift a bit, so you have fewer interactions or different types of interactions. This use of these energies can apply to any aspect of your life, in your professional settings, in your exchanges with family, in the way you go about shopping for groceries. As you increasingly identify with yourself as a multidimensional being, you will create a life that reflects that to you, that reminds you of your gifts, that brings to mind ways that you can share these gifts, that shows your power to you in myriad ways each day and helps you have what can be a very magical life. And by that we mean it is imbued with synchronicities and joy and a lightness of being that is in some ways incongruent with the chaos that can be all around you. This does not mean that you ignore those things that you find reprehensible, such as hunger. This means that you focus your power in ways that infuse your life with the application of that power. And so if what comes to your mind is that you find things like lack of potable water available to every person on this planet, if you find that reprehensible, then you can decide, I will focus some of my power and my intention on supporting organizations who do something about this. I will use my online presence, my communication with people, to bring this issue to light in ways that fill me with joy, and to focus my daily energies in the amelioration of this reprehensible situation. But you do not allow these types of situations to diminish your light. Rather, they are a focus of increased flow for you. Do you see that distinction? We see many on the planet who have large, wondrous hearts, who care deeply, who can be filled with despair as shifts take place on the planet. And we come forward now to reach out to you or to someone you love if you share this with them. This is not a time of despair. This is a time of redefining who you are and how you use your light. It is a time to stand in your power and create your reality and call upon the assistance of the guides who are in line with who you are. For some of you that is the archangels, for some of you that is the goddesses, for some of you that will be us, for some of you that is the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the Syrians, for some of you it is nature, for some of you it is the whales, for some of you it is all of that. You know in some ways who you have connections to, because some of the names that I just went through in that list will appeal to you greater than others. Start there. This is no time for weakness or fear. Anything going on in your external reality that inspires fear or disgust or despair in you is a means of sparking the use of your power. That is all. Use everything in your life as a means of orienting the use of your will and your intention and your ability to embody your light. This is a time of great triumph on the planet. For many of you will begin to move into greater embodiment. That is a signature purpose of this transmission and this overall podcast. You are deeply loved. You are highly supported. You are beings of vast, multidimensional power and love and light with incredible gifts. And you chose to be here on this planet at this time for this very purpose of standing in your light. So let us celebrate that with you. Let us support you in it. We can be called by name. We can be called within the general context of asking for the support of your highest divine light and love. It is the energy behind the request, not the exact wording. And as all who have previously spoken on this podcast, we are right here with you. We are ready to help you. And we honor you for your choice to be embodied at this time. It is an incredible time to be on this planet, and we celebrate you. So be it, and so it is. This is Jules. Well, that was fun. I start knowing who is going to show up, but I really don't know what they're going to say. And so this was a really great introduction to a lot of the energies that are going to come forward now, because they are lined up literally. I have a list of who wants to speak and when. They're lined up because this is an incredible time on the planet, and if you are listening to this, then you are ready to step up and like they said, stand in your power. And I know how difficult that can be, because I have hidden from my power for literally decades. But when you step into it and you start to access this help that's at hand, it becomes really a very joyful experience. It is magical, as they said. And we will go into more of the magic of it in other transmissions. In particular, Isis will be coming forward again to speak to that, as other members of the Goddess Council. So I'd ask you to really listen to this, see what pings you, see what strikes you, see which names appeal to you, see which of those practices you might be able to look at. And conversely, if there's something that you just turn away from, that might well be the spark that you need to be able to pivot, to take that fear or that turning away and pivot it as a way to stand in your power. I hope you listen into this multiple times. I hope you take some notes in your journal. I hope you ask for help and look at the ways that help shows up in your life. That's it for now. If you enjoyed this, I would love it if you would subscribe and share it with your friends, and I would be so appreciative of a positive review. Thanks for listening.